All right, everybody, Wade Northhausen here for Billboard Battalion. We're in Ballarat today. Today is Sunday the 15th of June 2025, and we've been at the fireys and farmers and general community rally against Jacinta Allen's great big new tax, you know, the government's war on farmers and the rest of the community. So we've got a few likely suspects who are left here. These girls were part of the convoy that was happening, part of the protest action. So I just thought we'd have a bit of a quick chat before they head off back home, and just get a bit of an idea of what they thought of the rally and some of the messaging that they've brought to give Jacinta some words of encouragement because she's so nice. So just we'll get names if you're happy with names and whatever, and where you're from and what you reckon of today.
Carrie, and from Derrinallum, and
Nicole from Pura Pura.
Tara, and she's from Derrinallum as well. She's
Okay.
a bit shy.
She's the shy one. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. If she turns out to fires, mate, we don't care if she don't want to talk on cameras. You know, she's fighting to save our communities and protect people. That's what matters.
Yeah.
So the you would obviously have a lot better things to do on a Sunday than to turn up to do this. So it must be pretty serious.
Yeah.
So first of all, I believe you're the only all-female crew who was here today, yeah?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so we might just run with that bit for a start, because you've got some messaging on your truck that blokes most likely probably couldn't really say.
No.
But we've got a bit of a message here. So if you can grab that, Nick. You know, we've got some words of encouragement for Jacinta.
Hope she takes them on board.
Yeah, something about, I don't know, they don't like her. I'm getting it's just you know, just the whole idea. So this is pretty serious stuff. You could get into all sorts of trouble, or are you really concerned?
Not overly concerned, to be honest. We're only saying what everybody else is thinking. It's just that we might have a chance of getting away with it.
Well, I reckon stuff her anyway. I don't
Wow.
care. She can go and take it firmly with both hands and shove it.
Well,
Yeah,
she told us everything we needed to know when
At
she
Camperdown.
ignored everybody at Camperdown that had been standing out there in the freezing cold for hours waiting for her and pretended not to see anybody. So, as far as I'm concerned, get what you give.
Yep, you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, she was at a meeting in Bendigo just probably around about August, September last year, and there were a lot of farmers there who wanted to talk to her as well, and she did a runner very, very quickly. I think they ushered her out the back door and into a waiting car and cleared off in about 0.5 of a second.
Yep. Sounds
So
familiar.
this seems to be her caper.
Yeah.
Go and throw the grenades, cause massive heaps of trouble, and then rack off.
And not communicate with any of us. Like, she should be communicating with us. We're doing it tough as it is. We don't need this extra stuff on top of it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So you're farming, are you?
Yes, I'm a farmer.
Yep.
Third generation farmer on the same land. And yes, it's tough. And
Yep.
we don't need this. We don't need it.
So whereabouts are you? Where's your actual farm? Like how far from here?
I'm an hour from here. So halfway between here and Warrnambool. I'm an hour to Warrnambool, an hour to Ballarat.
Yep.
Yep. And it's tough.
So you're dry land, sheep.
Sheep and
great-
cropping.
Yep.
Yep, sheep and cropping, crossbreds and merinos, yep. Downsized quite a lot of my livestock, which I have not enjoyed doing because merinos are my love,
Yes.
and I can't buy them back in, but I have to sell out some of them.
So how long have you been putting your breeding stock together for? How long's your lines been running?
Our lines have been running for as long, Dad was started probably 45 years ago. I've been doing it ever since I was about yay high with him, and it is my love. I sold rams with him when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I've been doing it until this day.
So how much ground have you got there?
1,250 acres.
Yep.
Yep, we're on 2 soldier settlements blocks, and
Oh, right, yep. This is, we look at the other thing we've got on the truck here, 100% run by farmers.
Yep.
So, you know, not all our CFA volunteers are farmers, but a huge, big chunk are, you know. So how long have you been in CFA for?
I've been in the CFA.
Hang on, chucking all my stuff out here. Sorry about that.
I've been in the CFA. We joined when we were as 16-year-olds,
Yep.
most of us. Yeah, and I'm 45 years of age, and yeah, and this is how she treats us.
Oh, it's to say it's a kick in the guts is the understatement of the century.
It is.
Yes.
Like, we went to Black Saturday fires. We'd been up since 6 o'clock in the morning feeding sheep. We knew it was going to be a hot day, and then we got the call out and we left, and we got down to Alexandra at midnight, and they didn't know we were coming. There was a team of 25 trucks, and they said they didn't know we were coming. So we sat there for 2 hours before they put us out on the night shift. We'd had no sleep.
When was this?
Alexandra.
Oh, how
Down
long
at
ago?
the Black Saturday fires.
Oh, right, yep.
Yep.
Well, it's amazing that, you know, we've turned out on strike teams before, and the same deal. You turn up there, there's nothing to eat, nothing to drink. You just go into action. You know, we were at Port Punka,
Yep.
Bright. We rocked up there in the afternoon, and it was the next morning. Well,
Yep.
we've been fighting fires all night and up in the hills, places we didn't know we were going. We didn't know we were. But the same deal. You just turn out and you hit it.
Yep, but they also, that down at the Black Saturday fires, they put grader tracks over hills, and that at 12 o'clock night, they're putting the CFA trucks over following the grader to making sure it's truck safe. None of the paid services went there. CFA members at midnight going over, great, we look down the side, we're falling. We're
Yep.
falling, that's the end. They don't give a damn about us. Grampians fires this year, we left the station at 5 o'clock one morning, didn't get lunch till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because nobody wants to supply food for the CFA because they won't pay, apparently.
Okay, you know, it's a bit of a dodgy setup when you got people turn out. You got rat packs here though.
Yeah,
yes?
we've got
Yep.
rat packs, but like that's
Yep.
you know,
Basic.
It's basic.
Yep.
It's basic when you're being there all day.
Absolutely. So, what did you make of the rally here today? You reckon it was a success? You reckon it was good?
Oh, I think it was great.
Yep.
I think it was great. I think everybody did a great job. Had a fantastic turnout. Great response from the public as well. So
Absolutely,
many people
yes.
waving and cheering, and
Yep.
you know, especially the kids. The kids loved it. But yeah, no, I think it was a fantastic turnout. Everyone did really well.
And one of the things that we were talking about, like we were standing right over there, and you know, when we had trucks coming over towards Wendouree, over towards the lake there, and coming back, that, you know, had traffic jams backed up there. Not one bad reaction from any of the traffic.
No,
Unlike we
so
saw in
many.
Melbourne.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
so
we saw
many.
it out in Melbourne.
So many thumbs up. So many people tooting. Had great response from the traffic. Everyone was pretty excited.
Yeah.
Look back, we got round the lake there. We were probably about the fourth tanker back, I think. And I remember looking back across the lake, and the entire lake was filled with tankers. They circumnavigated the lake at the same time. It was just beautiful.
Yep.
Wish I could have got on video. It wouldn't have translated well though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. So, I met you for the first time in Melbourne on the
Parliament.
20th of I think it was the 20th of May.
Yep.
You know, had spoken to you on the phone just beforehand.
Yep.
And one of the things that's really, really great to catch up with people who you do talk to,
Yep.
and then see them in person.
Yeah.
The rally in Melbourne was fantastic.
It was great. Yeah. They did a really good job in Melbourne actually, and I thought the Melbourne public did really well with it too. They took it really well, considering we did walk them up for a couple of hours. So, you know,
Some
they all
took it better than others.
They all
though,
took it
yeah.
pretty. Some took it better than others, but you know, the whole point's to raise awareness, and Melbourne need to know. You know, you need a farmer 3 times a day, unfortunately, and if these guys go belly up, if Nicole goes belly up, that's our dinner. You know,
Where's your beer come from?
where's your beer come from?
Well,
Where's
let's
your
just
food
worry
come
about
from?
where the meat and veggies come
Where the
from
meat
for a
and veggies
start.
come from?
Yep.
And I mean, you know, like this is a part of the commentary that we've been doing and for a long time, is that we've got people going, oh, there's plenty of food, you know, we're never going to run out of food and all this sort of thing. But, you know, we travel around Australia and we're talking to farmers all over the place, and I'm telling you now, the food supply is becoming in peril because of government policy.
Yes, it is. It's government policy, like,
Yeah.
the amount of paperwork that has to be done now to sign off on, to sell livestock, to sell your grain, all the chemicals you used. I don't agree with using all the chemicals, but we're being put in this position, really.
And now, with all the stuff about the carbon accounting and getting to net zero, farmers are going to be wiped out. This is a message to Australia, that farmers are being wiped out deliberately by government policy. That is their objective. That is now as crystal clear as it gets. So
they're even stopping our ability to trade amongst ourselves. You look at the new biosecurities laws that they ran in through lockdown, and I can't even gift you a leg of lamb. I can't even gift you a carrot out of my garden or an egg from my chook at home. I'm breaking the law by doing that. You can come and eat it at my house, but I can't send you home with anything. So how's that work?
And this is very, very real. I mean, the biosecurity amendments in I think it was 2022. They brought through, and I spoke to the our fearless VFF then back in 2022, and I said, we've got some changes that have been made here. The government's had the power to come in and destroy your animals and that. Well, I think that they may have had to have court orders before. Now they've got some authorised officer who just makes a decision, and then they can come in and destroy everything you've got.
And they don't even have to identify themselves.
They can
just walk straight in.
Shut you down. They're going to attack the people who've got the backyard veggie patch. They've got the chickens, a handful. So this is a full-scale assault on food production.
It is.
Yes.
It is. It certainly is. Like they're doing it in Queensland, aren't they? They're doing it in New South Wales. They're doing it.
They're unrolling out a different version of it across every state so far. You got the fire ants in Queensland.
Knocking off the bees.
Jesus, they've gone hard on the bees.
It's wrong.
It is.
It's wrong.
And the things they've done to the beekeepers too, like, there's one young bloke that had proof that he was varroa mite free. They axed his entire hive, and then the next day they let it go. They made him watch. It was disgusting.
So, the things that are happening, and this is global, because we talk to we talk to people globally. In Canada, I spoke to a woman in Canada there, and she's a ostrich farmer. And the government in Canada are after her ostriches. They got masses of people to come in and be there to protect these ostriches from these government scumbag lowlife. I'm not going to say the words that I, would generally say. I mean, the company of ladies who clearly don't use bad language.
We clearly don't use bad language at all.
Maybe on occasion.
We're very
only when we're forced to.
Only when we're backed in a corner.
That's it.
Look, we're only saying what people are thinking. So
just to sort of finish up, the tax that they're putting on not only CFA and farmers, but this goes right into metropolitan Melbourne. Goes right into every business owner. If you own a block of land with a business on it, this is affecting you.
Yes. It's going to affect everybody at the end of the day, because landlords are still going to have to pay the hike. They're going to pass that on to their tenants. So even if you're renting, it's going to affect people. But it's going to affect people even worse once it comes to their dinner plate.
Yes.
We're not talking about the stock losses that the farmers are having currently. We're not talking about the lower birth rates that they're having as a result. Sheep go hungry, the birth rates aren't amazing. So, this is a big ongoing problem that we've got. They've started a big problem.
It absolutely is. And like we've said many times before, to see the Country Fire Authority, and I'm not talking about the hierarchy, I'm talking about the actual, boots on the ground, the firefighters, to see firefighters mobilise and become political.
Well,
this is brand new. This is something I've never seen before. So is that an indication of how serious this is?
It should give everyone pause. For farmers, especially our farmers, I mean, they're not protesting people. They're not the kind of people that come and protest. They're happy to live and let live. But the fact that so many farmers are turning out should speak volumes to everybody. It should speak to everybody in the city. We're trying to warn everybody in the city. This is going to be a problem for everybody. Not just Nicole and her sheep. Not just me and my workshop. This is a problem for Melbourne. It's a people problem.
It certainly is, and I can guarantee you now that CFA leadership will be sitting there having a stroke and a litter of pups on the spot at seeing this happen, and they'll be sitting there going, what the hell's happening here? We're losing control because the grassroots people, the actual volunteers who turn up when the bell goes. Now these are the people who are out here, and they will be copping flack from government.
Yeah.
To say you pull these people back into line. So once again, I think that's an indication of how serious this is.
Yeah.
That friction is now happening. Will be happening. I guarantee you, it will be happening.
Yeah.
And they'll be trying to pull them in, going, you stop these people. They're making us look bad. They're turning the public against us.
Yeah.
And if you see the likes of firefighters, particularly volunteers, or ambos or cops, starting to take action like this, then I think the politicians should be starting to collectively crap their dacks.
Well, it's like Jacinta has, we'll call it, say Jacinta, but all along the big roads, any of the overalls that have been hung out on signs or fences, big roads are being told to remove them. Council land, they're okay, but on big roads, they're not.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's...
It's hot.
It's
controlling.
She's got a PR problem on her hands. That's why the trip out to Camperdown last week and the token effort of visiting a farm. If she had looked across the road, she would have seen far skinnier cattle than the ones that she was looking at the other day out of Camperdown.
Yep.
So it's nice that she handpicks which farms that she's going to go to, and then she doesn't tell anyone where she's coming.
That's politics, mate.
Yeah.
That's not caring for the community or trying to help support our state. That's politics. And I can tell you right now, like we travel over most of Victoria, and everywhere you go, there's overalls hanging on fences, there's helmets, boots hanging on signposts.
And they got Vic Roads taking them down on us. This sign here wouldn't have happened had she actually stopped and spoken to the peaceful protesters, the peaceful farmers that were lined up there at Camperdown last week, waiting just to have they were not agitated. They just wanted to have a conversation with their Premier. And she snuck in the side door. That's why that's written on that door.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have done that if she had just had a conversation with people they stood in the cold for hours.
Yep.
They were there for hours.
Yep.
And she just rolls in the side door. Make sure the traffic's clear, sends us all around the front.
And that's how,
disgusting.
you know,
handpicking farmers to talk to is just totally wrong. It's beyond wrong.
And this is how they work it. You know, they go and they'll handpick a couple of suckers. People who
Nodders. They'll handpick nodders.
to go, and then they'll say, "Oh, look, we had a meeting with the farmers, and you know they're happy with what we're doing," or some other crap like that.
A farmer.
Okay,
a farmer.
No, I only spoke to one, not a lot. And this grant, well, it's making us spend more money that we don't have. Where's the help? Where is the help?
Yeah, how's that work? What's this grant? They got to spend 10 to get 5, and they're not allowed to spend it on food or water. How does that work?
I know.
How does that help?
Well,
that's not helping us. And
well, back in the Millennium Drought, the government announced we've got all this money, millions we're putting up there to help farmers. But that's funny. Only 10% of the money was ever taken up. That's because the people who desperately need it can't go through the paperwork, cannot comply to all
the paperwork is so hard and complicated and scary for age groups older than me. I know they're terrified of it. It's
and I know people.
The support isn't there for them.
No, and I know people that I'm talking about who were so fragile mentally. They were under so much pressure that every time they do something, they'd send it back. Oh no, now you've got to go through all this. Send your bank statements. Send your all this other crap, and it basically
they make it too complicated So the average person can't get their head around it, or hasn't got time, or is too scared and thinks, well, I'm never going to be able to apply because I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's harder for the ones that don't know how to use the internet. And they don't know. And it's like the rural financial counsellors that you don't see that advertised everywhere. Like, you don't know about them.
Farmers are the last people that ask for help, and when they get given help and it's that convoluted that they can't make sense of it.
And like they were saying back when I'm talking about, the only people who would qualify are the people who don't need it.
Yeah, pretty much.
How it goes.
It's hard. You've got to jump through loops and friggin' potholes and everything to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is just...
It's a shocker.
It's a shocker.
Yeah.
But the ones that need it won't always get by. You know, once again, it comes down to we're asset rich. So if you've got assets, well...
And then we shouldn't talk about those assets in the terms of the new unrealised capital gains.
Yeah.
So it might be something we talk about another day.
Yeah.
All right, look, I'd just like to say thanks for turning up here today. It's been a magnificent demonstration to the public and to this low-life scum premier thing, whatever the hell it is.
Thank you for turning up and covering it, Wade.
Yeah,
You've had a big couple of days yourself. You've been all over the place, so well
I'd
done.
like to say one thing. I know I'm not talking for just me, but a lot of us younger country raised people are quite scared, I guess I could say.
Yeah, mate. Yep. And this is what, you know, people of our sort of age are so concerned about, is the younger generation. You know, people such as yourself. I mean, we're looking at kids not having a future. You know, you get that stupid half-wit Greta Twitberg or whatever it is, you know, run around the countryside trying to terrify the hell out of all the kids about climate change and that crap that, you know.
Well, look, Carrie and I both don't have children, but we're here fighting for
Yes,
their
absolutely.
tomorrow's kids.
It's their future.
Absolutely.
It's their future. We're not
It's
fighting
their
for our own
future.
kids because we don't have kids, but we're fighting for the future
But
of everyone.
It is our generation that's got to fight this, so.
And like I was going to say, like, they got her run around the countryside trying to scare everyone in the world.
Yeah.
But this is the reality that should be frightening to young people. So well done to you, mate, for being here today. And for kicking into gear and being a CFA volunteer. Well done, thank you. Would be nice to see more of your mates and your age group taking an interest in this and saying, hang on, this is our future, or whether we're going to have one.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, isn't it?
Absolutely, that is literally the equation.
Yep.
So, all right, people. All right, thanks very much for that, and thanks for talking to us, and thanks for being here today. It's been really great, and we'll catch up again, and I guess I'll have Yak on the phone again soon.
So yeah,
all right,
happen at some stage.
That's it. Beautiful. All right, thanks very much, everybody, and
Thank you very much.
we'll call it quits here from Ballarat today.